Hello, everyone, and welcome to this workshop, WEkEO for universities. My name is Andreia Carvalho. I'm a training officer at the Mercator Ocean International, and I'll be joined today by Ergane Fouchet from Noveltis. Hello, Ergane.
Hi, Andrea. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm very excited to be participating to this event with Andrea. So I hope you'll enjoy it.
Me too. It's going to be a nice one. So you have some guidelines, and you will also tell us a bit about the agenda for today, right, Ergane?
Yes, that's it. So here's the agenda of the session. Right after this presentation, Andrea will present you the Copernicus WEkEO service. Then we'll have a WEkEO product overview from Valentina. We'll have two user testimonies, one from Pascal Derycke and another one from Alba Vilanova Cortezon. And finally, we'll have the presentation from Cédric about the user support and the help center. So that's it for the agenda. Oops. We are having this workshop on the Click Meeting platform, so you can ask your question directly on the chat. And for the platform to recognize that you're asking a question, you just have to put the question mark at the end of your message in the chat. And so the Q&A sessions will read all the questions. Don't forget the question mark. On the top of the screen, you have an orange button which reads material. And if you click on it, you will access the Padlet. And then on the Padlet, you will find all the resources available for this workshop. You will have the Help Center. You will have the replays after the workshop. You will have the replays of the event. You will also find all the material, the QGIS and the notebook exercises that have been prepared for the event. And that's it for the Padlet. So don't forget the orange button on the top of the screen.
That's right.
And we can move on, I think, to the, to the WEkEO presentation.
Yeah, that's it. We can, thank you. We will dive right into the WEkEO. If you're new here, I will do a brief presentation on what WEkEO is, what can offer you. So what is WEkEO? WEkEO is a data and information access service dedicated to the Copernicus and Sentinel data. So there you can find all the data related to all the Copernicus services. If you're not familiar with the Copernicus program, the Copernicus program is an European Union program dedicated to the Earth observation. And it is divided in different services, 6 services dedicated to different axes like land, marine, atmosphere, for example. And what WEkEO does is compiling all this data where you can have access in one single point. So besides this harmonized way of finding Copernicus and Sentinel data, you will also have the possibility to process this data. So we'll have a cloud infrastructure where you can use tools and some computing power. Besides this, and also a very important asset from WEkEO, is the strong user support. You can have access to a highly skilled team that is dedicated and experienced in Earth observation and will always be ready to answer your questions. And they also write extensive articles on certain issues, but I will not enter too much into detail here because Cédric will tell us more about that later. So WEkEO was created and is implemented by the entities that also operate the different services, Copernicus services, I mean. So in this case, we have Mercator Ocean, who's responsible for operating the Copernicus Marine Service. We have ECMWF, European Center for Medium Range and Weather Forecast, responsible for operating the Climate Change Service and the Atmosphere Service. We have EUMETSAT, not necessarily responsible for operating a service, but more on operating Sentinel satellites, and the EA, responsible for the land service. So besides being created by all these services, they also frequently operate WEkEO altogether. So as I said, you will find data from all the services in WEkEO, and also data collected by all the Sentinel satellites, and also contributing missions. On this part, we will have a more detailed presentation done by Valentina later on, who's going to tell us more about the data portfolio. So how can you access WEkEO? So just accessing the website, wekeo.eu, and there you will be able to, like I said, find all the data catalog, but also have access to certain computational resources where you can process your data, access Jupyter Lab. You have free trials where you can try different computing powers and see if this can be useful for your work or not. You can contact experts directly. So as I said, user support already has experts, but also you will be able to contact directly with experts that were involved in producing the data, because they are also actively participating in the user support. And of course, you can also share with the community your own applications of WEkEO, and progress in your work. And so as I said, the three main assets of WEkEO are the direct access to data, which is not a copy. You will have direct access to the different services, Copernicus services data from the original sources. This data is also harmonized, which means that you don't have to think about adapting it to a certain pattern. Everything is ready for you to process. And also you have a very strong user support team that is there ready to help you in any question you have. So there are basically two plans in WEkEO. One which you have free access to data, to computing power, Jupyter Lab, where you can find notebooks and other learning materials. And you can also have access to WEkEO Drive, where you can store some of your codes. And also you have a second plan if you decide that this is something that could be useful in your work, and you would like more computing power, more space, and more storage capacity. You can also opt for a paid plan. But I will not get into much detail here. You will also find all the details on the website. So basically, to summarize, you have different plans according to the capacity you're looking for, the RAM, the storage, and you can also try some of these plans for a certain period of time before you decide. So as I was saying, you have a lot of it for free that you can explore and access. And only the difference is the computing power or the storage capacity. You also have access to the Jupyter Lab, as I mentioned. Tomorrow we'll have a more detailed presentation on this, where you will be able to learn how to access the Jupyter Lab, how to work on some notebooks, how you can evolve and develop capacities. So if you opt for a paid plan, you will also have access to virtual machines. So in the WEkEO website, you will find a part dedicated to the Jupyter notebooks, where you find all the learning material, all the notebooks that have already been created, and there you can practice, you can exchange with other experts. And we also have organized in the past several webinars, and on YouTube, on the YouTube channel of WEkEO DS, you will also find all the videos and demonstrations. Okay, and just to make a bit of the context. This is a workshop thinking about the universities. So if you are a teacher or maybe a researcher or a student, and you came here, you didn't know WEkEO, now you have an idea of what WEkEO is, what WEkEO can offer you. And if you think this could be interesting either for your class or for your research, we really invite you to maybe leave a comment on the chat and let us know what would be your need, what would you like to be able to use. If you would need some sort of training or more some sort of knowledge on how to access the data or how to interpret it, we would really like to know, because we would like to make WEkEO available also for you, for this community. So it would be really important to know that from you guys. So don't be shy, just leave that comment. And now I will introduce Valentina Giunta, who's gonna tell us more about the WEkEO product portfolio.
Thank you, Andrea, for introduction. Let me choose my screen, share my presentation.
Yes. Great.
So hopefully you see the big screen, right? Okay. I guess that is a yes. So let me introduce myself first. So my name is Valentina Giunta. I'm a product analyst at Mercator Ocean International, which is one of the partners of WEkEO and is an entrusted entity for Copernicus Marine Service. So today we are going to dive into the product offer that WEkEO has. So we will explore a little bit more about the different Copernicus services that are being offered through WEkEO. So we'll start with Copernicus Marine Service. Perfect. So the Copernicus Marine Service distributed free of charge marine data and variables across what we call the blue, white, and green ocean. The blue ocean describes the physical state of the ocean. The green ocean describes biochemical processes, such as, for example, the transfer of simple chemical substance between ocean life and ocean environment. And then the white ocean deals with the monitoring of the pole and the critical life cycle of any kind of floating, melting, or freezing sea ice. So when we call about blue, green, and white ocean, basically we are talking about different ocean variables. So for to describe the physical state of the oceans, we use variables such as temperature, salinity, currents, waves, sea surface elevation, wind, and many others. When we talk about green ocean, we talk about nekton, plankton, organic carbon, nutrients, oxygen, carbonate system, optics, and other variables as well. And when we talk about describing what is happening in the poles, for example, we talk about sea ice concentration, thickness, sea ice extent, sea ice velocity, snow, ice surface temperature, and many others. So these ones are just an overview of the main variables that you can find on the data offered by Copernicus Marine Service. So through WEkEO, the data that is being offered basically map the blue, white, and green ocean through different kind of different type of data. So we have observations from in-situ data and satellites, but also we have output from numerical models. So the observation data is used is being assimilated into the numerical models to produce forecasts up to 10 days. You can also find multi-year data or near real-time data. And the geographical coverage that you can find for this kind of data is global, the Arctic region, the Baltic Sea, the Northwest Shelf, the Iberian Biscay Irish area, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Black Sea. So as I said before, through WEkEO is offered for the Copernicus Marine Service is offered model satellite and in situ data. So satellite observation data is offered right now 2 levels, L3 and L4. So L3 are daily composite products from single or multi-sensor, and L4 are daily interpolated and weekly, monthly composites. For in-situ observation, there are different networks and different platforms. So there is data available from ArgoFloat, from research vessels, from XBT, and many other instruments. And the model data is a 3D numerical representation of the ocean, which has an assimilation of what we call real data. That means satellite and in situ data. So that is for what is being offered for Copernicus Marine Service through WEkEO. Now we will focus on what is offering from the ECMWF. So we have the climate change and the atmosphere monitoring, but also we have the emergency service as well. So for the climate change service, we have in situ satellite model data. So in situ observations are typically made at weather station or, for example, using weather balloons at many locations around the world. It offers data from 1850 to now. And the variables, it can be glacier elevation and distribution, mass change, grid temperature and precipitation, for example. Then we have satellite or radar observations, which provide indirect measurements that are transformed to weather data by using different algorithms. The data is offered from 1970s to now. You can find some variables such as CO2, methane, radiation, sea level, sea ice, water vapor, and humidity. But let's focus for now for the model data. So weather models can be used in two different ways. So for example, to make an analysis of the weather by ingesting all observations to provide a very complete state of the atmosphere and the weather. We call this an analysis or a reanalysis when it's redone with the latest model version of historical data. Then it can be used as initial condition for weather models to compute seasonal forecasts. And finally, the most comprehensive models that include, for example, vegetation or ice cap development can make projections many decades or even centuries into the future. So all these drive and force the sectorial climate indices that I will talk a little bit more later. So if we focus a little bit more into the model data, we see that the climate change service offering WEkEO three different type of products. So we have the reanalysis product, which remain the closest to the observations and can be a good alternative to true observations when these observations are sparse, that means in time or space. And in WEkEO, reanalysis data comes from ERA5, that is for a global coverage, or WERA, that is for Europe. And then we have the climate model forecast, which are also provided in the form of seasonal forecasts. And they are initialized climate models, so that look up to 1 to 12 months into the future. And then we have the climate change projections that can inform climate over the next couple of decades and centuries. So since these are non-initialized climate models, they can only be used in a statistical sense. They are also used along with other sources to run the sectorial impact models and to compute bioclimatic and climate indicators. So the sectorial impact data is produced from sectorial models relevant for water, agriculture, energy, and insurance. And this is important just to highlight that some bias correction might be needed, especially for the projections. Now, if we focus on CAMS, the atmosphere and monitoring service, so for CAMS, observations are key to the production of the various services that they offer. CAMS combines information from these observations with computer models of the atmosphere to generate an accurate estimate of atmospheric variables such as temperature, ozone concentrations, and amount of aerosol particles. So using these estimates as the starting point, the models can then produce forecasts for the coming days. So observations are also used to assess the quality of the CAMS products. So they use, for example, in situ observations, such as from weather stations, from commercial and research aircraft, from balloons. And then also they use satellite data from polar orbiting satellites, geostationary satellites, radars, and many others. Basically, they all use these in situ and satellite observations to assimilate and to run their models and to provide forecasts. So on the WEkEO side, you can find for CAMS the output of the models. So if we look into a little bit with more detail regarding the models that CAMS offer on WEkEO, so we can see the CAMS system deliver forecasts and reanalysis of trace gases and aerosols on a global and European scale, as well as estimate of emissions, surface fluxes, and other supplementary products. So if we focus first on the global production system, this system is used to produce the daily forecast of pollutants, aerosols, and greenhouse gases across the globe. And there are three main global production streams here. So we have the analysis and forecast for aerosols and chemical species, such as gases in the troposphere or stratosphere, which are produced twice a day. And then we have analysis and forecast for greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide and methane, which are produced once a day, with an increased spatial resolution. And then there is the global reanalysis product, which are produced every few years. Then we have the regional production system, which is used to produce the daily forecast for air quality across Europe. These systems are very similar to the global production system in the way that they combine also atmospheric models with observations to produce accurate forecasts. However, instead of using only one forecast model, they use several models to produce this product. So this system is also provides reanalysis data and provides a consistent data set that can be used for assessing air quality in Europe, how it's changing over the time. And then we have the supplementary production system, which is specific for each service line. So, however, they all make use of observations and model of the atmosphere to produce specific products. They also make use of some of the outputs from the global and regional production systems. Supplementary products cover a number of models and services that extend beyond the core of atmosphere monitoring products. For example, greenhouse gases, which are essential to understand the evolution of Earth's climate. And then also we have the climate forcing, which measures the difference in energy entering and leaving the Earth caused by a change in the climate system. For example, changes in atmospheric composition driven by human activities. And finally, we have the emission production system, which is used either to compute algorithms to estimate emissions from wildfires and biomass burning directly from satellite observations, or also they combine information from existing emission inventories into consistent and comprehensive data sets. So for this one, we have two types. We have the global fire assimilation system, which assimilates fire radiative power observations from satellite-based sensors to produce daily estimates of emissions from wildfires and biomass burning. And then we have also emissions resulting from human behavior, as well as released by animals and vegetations, which affect also the composition of the atmosphere. So that is for CAMS, but also we have the emergency service, which the Copernicus Emergency Management Service supports all actors involved in the management of natural or man-made disaster by providing geospatial information to inform decision-making. So this service constantly monitors Europe to forecast, analyze, and provide information for resilience strategies. So it has two components: on-demand mapping and early warning and monitoring, as you can see here on this slide. However, what is currently offered on the WEkEO side is the early warning and monitoring. So we have, for this component, we offer anticipatory critical geospatial information at European and at global level through continuous monitoring and forecast for floods and for forest fires as well. So if we focus on the flood side, so this one provides, for example, river discharge data at the global and European level. So you can find historical and seasonal data, but also forecast. And then on the fire information system, you can find fire danger indices such as burning index, danger rating, fire danger index, and many others. And you can find that in a global historical data. So now it's time to move into the products that are being offered through WEkEO for the Copernicus Land Service. So the Copernicus Land Service provides geographical information on land cover and its changes, land use, vegetation state, water cycle, and earth surface energy variables to a broad range of users in Europe and across the world. It supports application in a variety of domains such as spatial and urban planning, forest management, water management, agriculture, and food. So the main components of this service are the systematic biophysical monitoring, which produce mainly a series of qualified biophysical products on the status and evolution of the land service. So this is produced at a global scale every 10 days with a mid-spatial resolution and is complemented by the long-term time series. And the products are used to monitor, for example, vegetation, crops, water cycle, energy budget, and terrestrial cryosphere variables. Then we have the land cover and land use mapping, which produce land cover classification at various levels of details. So you can find this at the pan-European level and a global context as well. At the pan-European level, these are complemented by detailed layers on land cover characteristics, such as forests, grassland, water, and wetness, and other features as well. At a global level, the land cover mapping follows the land cover classification system of FAO. And then we have the thematic hotspots mapping, which aims to provide tailored and more detailed information on specific areas of interest, which is known as hotspots. So hotspots in the context of the land service are prone to specific environment challenges. Data and products are based on medium to high and very high resolution satellite image for the hotspots. And then we also have reference data, which provides satellite image data in high and very high resolution and reference datasets. These datasets provide homogeneous pan-European coverage of some key geospatial themes such as hydrography and elevation. So we can also divide the data provided by the land service on WEkEO through different categories, such as, for example, vegetation. So for vegetation, it offers data such as fraction of green vegetation covers and other vegetation properties. It also offers vegetation indices such as productivity index and vegetation condition index as well. It offers data regarding the dry matter productivity, which features the growth of standing biomass for specific agronomic applications, and also offers data regarding the burnt area, which are maps of burnt areas which delineate the zone of the globe affected by fire events. Then it also offers data regarding energy, such as land surface temperature, which is the land surface temperature. And this one indicates how hot or cold the ground feels to the touch, depending on the albedo and the vegetation cover and the soil moisture. And then it also offers the surface albedo data and the top of canopy reflectance, which quantifies the fraction of the sunlight reflected by the surface of the earth in a given spectral band. Then also offers the data regarding water, such as lake surface water temperature, lake water quality, all data regarding other water bodies and the water level. We can also find data regarding the cryospheres, which is it is reliable information on snow cover across the northern hemispheres and then Arctic and subarctic regions, which is needed for climate monitoring and for understanding the Arctic climate system as well. So here you can find lake ice extent, snow cover extent, or snow water equivalent. And then, as I said before, is also offer hotspots data, which aims to provide specific and more detailed information that is complementary to the information obtained through the pan-European component. So it can focus on different hotspots. So for example, Urban Atlas, which provides pan-European comparable land use and land cover data, covering a number of functional urban areas, and then offers data regarding the riparian zone, which addresses land cover and use in areas along rivers. Then offers what is called Natura 2000, which aims to map land cover and use in a selection of grandlands rich sites and to assess whether those selected sites are being effectively preserved. and then offers data on coastal zone, which are land use or covered product map from the European baseline. And finally, they also offer ground-based observations at a global level, which provides multiple years of quality in situ measurements to validate the core land products, and then at pan-European level, which offers land cover and land use information in the core. So that is for the land service. And just to end this overview of what is being offered on WEkEO, we can also find the Sentinel data 1, 2, 3, and 6, which is offered by EUMETSAT. So as you probably know, the Sentinel missions are missions that are in charge of EUMETSAT, and on WEkEO you can find data from the Sentinel-1 mission, which potentially image all global land masses, coastal zone, and shipping routes in European waters in high resolution, and also covers the global oceans at regular intervals. So you can find level 1 data for these Sentinel-1 products, and the applications that you can use this data for are, for example, monitoring sea ice and iceberg, monitoring land use, land ice, glaciers, ice sheets, ice cap, for river and lakes ice monitoring, for oil spills and shift, for marine winds and waves, and many other applications as well. And then you can also find Sentinel-2 products, which Sentinel-2 is a wide swath, high-resolution, multispectral imaging mission, which is supporting the Copernicus land monitoring studies, including the monitoring of vegetation, soil, and water cover, as well as observation of inland waterways and coastal area. So on WEkEO, you can find two different kind of products for Sentinel-2. So the level 1C, which is the top of atmosphere reflectance, and the level 2A, which is the bottom of atmosphere reflectance. And you can use these for many applications, including agriculture, land ecosystem monitoring, forest management, disaster mapping, civil security, and many others as well. Then you can also find Sentinel-3 data, which offers 3 types of data. So you have data from the altimetry from Sentinel-3. You have data from the Ocean and Land Color Instrument, OLSI, which is a radiometer which measures light reflected by the Earth's surfaces. And then you can also find data from the sea and land surface temperature radiometer, which is a dual view scanning temperature radiometer, which flies in a low Earth orbits. And the applications that you can use this data for are, for example, measuring sea and lake surface topography, sea and land surface temperature, sea ice and land ice elevation, and ocean and land surface as well. And finally, you can also find data from Sentinel-6. So Copernicus Sentinel-6 is a radar mission with the idea of mapping the sea surface height with a very high resolution. So from Sentinel-6, you can find data from Poseidon 4 altimeter and from the advanced microwave radiometer for climate. So you can use this kind of data for vital information on ocean currents, wind speed, wave height as well. That is everything for me for the overview of WEkEO products.
Thank you very much, Valentina. Yeah, you can hear me. So it's now time for questions. We've had many questions, and we'll also answer the questions from that were asked to Andreia during her presentation. So let's start with the first questions. Can you see them?
Yes.
Okay. This question is more general, and it's about the workshop. Andreia, you will be able to answer. The webinar is being recorded. How will we access the replays?
Yes, so the 2 sessions, today and tomorrow's sessions, they will be recorded, and they will be put available on the Padlet that we shared already the link. We can share again via the chat, and it will also be available on our YouTube channel, the WEkEO DIS YouTube channel. So you will be able to follow it later on.
Okay, great. Thank you. Here's the question about the data that WEkEO compiled. Do we have the model data on WEkEO? I think we do.
Yes, unless there's some exceptions of certain services that don't have certain model data available, but in principle, you have every type of data available, model, in situ, and satellite.
Thank you.
But maybe, maybe you can be more specific, Tommy, on saying what kind of model data you couldn't find. So maybe we can take a look into that. And try to find an answer for you as well. Or Valentina, I don't know if you know anything more specific on that, if there's some exceptions.
No, I mean, most of the services provide model data and forecast on WEkEO. So.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now I have a difficult question. How is WEkEO different from the Synergic Sentinel Hub? Do you have the answer?
I don't have an answer. It's way too specific.
Okay, so we'll try to find the answer and we'll tell you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there a discount for university users for the pay plan and for more powerful users?
So at the moment, there's no specific plan for universities, but we are really interested in looking into that and understand how we can create a specific plan for universities, if that could be useful for them. But besides that, you can do up to 5 months of free trial, where you can try different computing power. So that will give you an idea. But we are really interested in trying to explore, this new community. So very, very soon we will have something.
Okay, thank you. The data, is it worldwide or is it just for Europe?
It is worldwide, but go ahead, Valentina, if you have something.
No, yeah, I mean, there are some products that are focused on Europe, so it depends on the service or the data that you're looking, but you can find global products and European products as well.
Thank you. Now it's for Andreia again. Can we share the prerequisite videos again in the comments? Maybe we have done it, I think.
I'm not sure what they mean by prerequisite videos.
Yeah,
I don't think I understand.
I think they're all available on the Padlet. Every video that we will record, they will be on the Padlet.
Oh yeah, okay, those videos, sure. If you take a look at the top of your screen, you will see a dark blue bar saying material, WEkEO for universities, with the yellow button saying material. If you click in there, you will be directed to the Padlet. That's where we keep all the learning materials, and there will also be the videos later on.
Okay, back to Valentina now. Which networks perform in situ observation?
So they use in situ observation. They don't perform, I think. So many of the services, for example, Copernicus Marine Service offer in situ data that is available through WEkEO as well. Regarding the other services, I need to look into that. I know that land monitoring service they offer in situ as well. So yeah, you can find different kind of data in situ, satellite and model data on WEkEO.
Okay, great. Thank you. Another question for you. What is the difference between analysis model and reanalysis? I think we've had an answer in the chat, but you can maybe explain to everyone.
I don't see the answer.
They said it was historical data, the reanalysis models.
So yeah, as I said on the presentation, so reanalysis is when it's actually redone. That's the reason that it's using the the latest model version of historical data. So that is called reanalysis. Otherwise, it's called analysis. But that's the difference between one and the other one.
Thank you. A more technical question now. What's the difference between the L3 and L4 products, and how could the resulting products be related? Or what are the implications of this to another one?
Okay. So yeah, E3. So it's the different levels is the way that the data is being processed. So if you want more raw data, you go to low levels like level 1, level 2. Level 3 and level 4, they are graded products, but L4 is more processed than L3 data. So if you want, for example, yeah, it has a kind of like a different processing level. It's a little bit hard to explain in a technical way, but I would say that if you want the more processed data, you will go for L4 products, and if not, you can track with the L3 product.
Okay. Thank you. We have one question again about the slides. As we said, it will be available on the Padlet, I think, or at least the videos.
No, yes, we can also make it available, the presentation, definitely.
Great. The next question, the daily emission data can be accessed real time, or there are some days delay? Valentina, maybe you can tell us.
I don't know the answer for that one, but we can have a look, and then maybe we can share it.
I think it also depends on the products you're considering.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you can find on the WEkEO catalog, you have the access to all the information, so you can easily find the information, I think.
And also, don't feel free to contact user support. They will have the answer for you straight away. So that's also an option.
Okay, so the link to the catalog, maybe we can put it in the Padlet as well, and otherwise it's in the chat. I think someone answered this in the chat. For Valentina again, which is the resolution of land surface temperature?
Yes, I need to look into that. I'm not really sure about the resolution. There are many products, but we can have a look and then we can share the answers.
Sure. Good morning. Are these data validated with local sensors?
I think it depends on the data that they're talking about. But if you want more information regarding the technical aspect of the products and the quality information, so if you go through WEkEO and you go through the catalog, you will find other links that explain how this data is being produced, and more information regarding technical and quality aspect of the products.
Okay. Are the entire information of European promotion service available through WEkEO? Very specific question.
Yeah, very specific. I don't know the answer for that one either.
Okay. We'll try to find out then. Is there image data or only numerical?
Oh, there is numerical data, there is image data as well. So it depending on the product that you're looking for, but yeah.
Okay. Is a hotspots only on European scale? Are there also Africa or the Middle East? Do you have?
I'm not sure through WEkEO if it's only been offered the European scale, but it's I can have a look and also share the answer.
Thank you. Is the access of WEkEO, I suppose, for European users, or is it for all people?
It's for everyone. Okay. You just have to register. But yeah, normally everyone.
Okay. Another question for Andreia, I suppose. Does the free trial, I guess, limit the data that we can access, or well? Can you tell us more about the free trial, Andreia?
Yes. No, so not the access to the data. You can have access and download the data. What it will limit you is more on the storage capacity, on the computing capacity that will change, basically. But in terms of the access to the data, no. You will have the same access.
Okay. I see. You, of course, you're able to download the data and to use them on Google Colab, if I can complete the answer. You can do whatever you want with them, I think.
Yes, normally, yes.
Could you please post a link for fire risk data and meteor forecast for near future in description? I don't know who can answer this question. Maybe Valentina.
So yeah, I think the best way is just to dive into the WEkEO catalog to find this data. So you will find there the description of each of the products, more information as well. So you can use a filter that you have on the left side, or you can just introduce keywords that will help you to find the products that you're looking for.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, just to say, also tomorrow, I think so we'll have a practical session tomorrow where we're going to have a demonstration on how to use the viewer, and also we're going to have Alexandre showing us a Jupyter notebook. And if I'm not mistaken, the topic is actually wildfires, right?
Yes.
Again, yeah. So yes, so tomorrow you will learn everything about that, actually.
Next question. What's the difference between RUS and Copernicus Open Access Hub? Andreia, maybe? Do you know about RUS?
No, I'm not sure I know the difference. But,
I think it's another training program from the Copernicus.
Okay. No, I can try to look into that and find an answer for you. But so just to remind you, all the answers that we are not able to respond now, we'll make sure we answer them and make it available soon on the Padlet as well.
Yes. Another question about fires. Does WEkEO contains fire risk data for Eurasia or only for the European Union?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I need to look into the catalog to answer this question. But we can share the answer later.
Sure, thank you. Real-time disaster data used to be shared with dedicated national authorities only. Is this still the case, or will it also be free for research purposes? Valentina, maybe.
Yes, I don't know. I don't know the answer to this one. Yes, no, I cannot answer this one. Sorry.
It's fine. Is there any example of creating machine learning models using the data, like tutorials that new people can follow? I think there is. There is a MOOC maybe on WEkEO, Andreia?
Yes, so on WEkEO website, if you register, you will have access to the Jupyter Lab. And you have access to some Jupyter notebooks, and you can also learn how to do certain steps. So you can learn how to run your data, and there you have all the materials. We can make it more explicit on the Padlet maybe as well for you to have direct access.
Okay, thank you. And one last question, I think. What are the prerequisites for tomorrow's practical session? Do we need to install Jupyter and more? Maybe I can answer, and Andreia will complete. I don't think you'll have to install anything. For tomorrow's session, we encourage you. We will present you the material, but we encourage you not to do it at the same time as we will. You will have all the material available after. So for tomorrow, you just have to watch and learn, I guess. Andreia, do you want to add anything?
Do we need to install Jupyter and more? Just Jupyter, and maybe register on WEkEO so that you can have access. Yeah. that's it
That's it.
for the moment. Yeah.
So that's it for the questions we've had so far. Don't hesitate. Well, if you want to ask the question in the chat, don't forget to add the question mark. And yeah, that's it for the.
Yeah, I just have a comment. So
Sure.
the people, the person that asked about the fire data. So
Yeah.
from the emergency side, you can find that the fire danger indices on a global scale only. It's global data.
Okay, great. So we're a little early for in the agenda, and
Yes, I
we
was
are.
wondering if we could maybe invite Cédric to come now. It's a little bit earlier, but because I don't see our user testimony speakers yet. Yes, but then it will be an interesting transition as well, because it will actually show you how to access the user
So
support.
thank you very much, Valentina, for your presentation, for answering all the questions.
Yes, thank you very much. So I'm just looking for Cédric. And let me present it. Sorry about that. We're just looking for our next presenter. Coming in, maybe. Yes, have you? Good. Hi, Cédric. So now we're gonna have Cédric Giordan from Mercator Ocean International, who's gonna tell us a bit more about the user support of WEkEO. Whenever you want.
Good morning, everybody. So I'm Cédric I manage the user support of WEkEO service. I will give you an overview of the support functionalities, how to contact us, the online tools to improve your mastering of the service and the data, etc. So you should see my screen, and so the WEkEO website. In the top menu, there is a support entry. So I click on support, and you reach this page dedicated to support with different categories, different boxes. The last one, because I will start by the last one, is the system status. So clicking on this box, you will find information on the future maintenance, etc. So the period and when it has been resolved, and the affected service or services. The second box is about the data status. So it's to monitor the status of the available datasets, and I click on the box. And of course, it's okay. So here you can see the list of all the datasets available and the status, if they're okay, in error, or down. So for example, I want to click to have information on the error datasets. So I click on the 23 error, and I have the list below and the service on the right. And if I click on the product, I will reach his information in the catalog. So I can show you. Here is the information page of the product. I come back to the support area. There is a box called the technical docs, but we are in the process to move into all the articles available in this box into the Help Center. So I will directly go to the Help Center. In this online tool, so it is really useful because you can find the answer you want directly in this Help Center. you will find different articles. They are sorted by collection. So, for example, the first one, getting started with WEkEO, I click on the collection, and I reach the different articles. There are as well sub-collection. For example, there is a sub-collection dedicated for account management. So information, registration, and offer plan. I click on the title, and I reach the article. So many useful information are available in these articles. So I'll let you discover this. And at the end, you can give your opinion on the article. And it's important for us because if we can see that many bad or average ratings are given to a specific article, we review it and to offer a new version, to improve version. So I come back to the collection. Another collection is dedicated to the WEkEO data viewer and catalog. Same, you click on the title and we'll reach articles and sub-collections. Another collection is dedicated to Jupyter Hub. What is the WEkEO Jupyter Hub? How to use the WEkEO Drive, etc. A collection is dedicated to the HDA, so Harmonized Data Access. Another one is dedicated to tenants and virtual machines with 24 articles inside. So with several sub-collection about general information, launch of virtual machine, how to manage about the tenant management, and articles for advanced users. So it's really useful to discover and to browse this Help Center to have many information to discover the service and the data. And two collection about the privacy and terms and the WEkEO training and webinars. So I come back to the WEkEO web page and the support area. At the bottom of this area, there is a form to contact the user support. So there are different ways to contact the user support. You can, of course, fill in this form, giving your email and your name and your message. There is you can as well contact us using by email to WEkEO at support@wekeo.eu. The email address is available in the chat, and there is at the bottom right of all pages there is a chat widget. Sorry, in this widget you can of course send us a message. You have a direct link to the Help Center. If I want to find specific information about the tenant, I click on the free text area here, tenant, and how to configure user and tenant settings. I click on the title, and the article is displayed directly in the chat. And there are different tabs below. So to reach the Help Center, to send message, to have a list of your messages, and a home tab to see highlights or useful information. And so don't hesitate to use this chat, and you will meet Jean-Etienne or David or Elena, another member of the team, and they will ask your answer, and then they can, if they don't have the answer, they will contact the expert, the technical expert or the data expert, etc. So do not hesitate to contact us using one of the three means, so email, form, or chat. Many thanks for your attention.
Yes, thank you, Cédric. I think we don't. It was very clear because we don't have any questions about your presentation.
Thank you. I will put the URL of the Help Center and the email address of the user support in the conversation.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. And now we're gonna pass on to Pascal Derycke. I will share his presentation. Hello, Pascal.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So you are going to share my presentation, or should
Exactly.
I? Okay.
So
Great.
I think you can already see it on the screen.
Yes, I confirm I see it.
Great. And so on the bottom right, you will see the arrows where you can switch yourself.
Okay.
That way you're on your own.
Yeah, it works. It's perfect.
Perfect.
Super well organized. So good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to present one use case we have developed with service based on the services provided by WEkEO. So I'm going to present you a web platform facilitating access to marine data. I'm Pascal Derycke. I'm a GIS expert working for different European projects, but let's focus on the Marine Analyst today. So the Marine Analyst is a web service for augmented data access and reproducible data analysis. It's powered by WEkEO, which is one of the DIAS, Data and Information Access Services, funded by the European Commission. The Marine Analyst provides an easier access to a wide variety of marine data and analysis for specific areas of interest in Europe, but also at the global scale. Here, what you have to understand is the Marine Analyst is a metadata broker. So we harvest information from different marine data silos like Marine Copernicus or InMoNet. For any data access request, you can produce an HTML document. So I mean a report. I'm going to show you how it works. So for instance, when you have selected within the Marine Analyst a data set, for instance, here you see seabed litter, you are able to produce a report for your area of interest, and you will find your report in a personal dashboard. Or to add reports to your dashboard. So it's quite straightforward how to use the Marine Analyst. So first of all, you define your area of interest, and then you search for data. Depending of the result, you can select a data. What is nice with the Marine Analyst, you in real time, you know if data is available, you know if you can produce a report out of the available data set. Here you've got an example of a visualization page. So it's in the Med Sea, and you see the different sediment stations. So on the right, I don't know if you see my mouse, but here you've got some tabs to work with. So first of all, you see that the service is operational, up and running. You see that you have defined your area. You see the box there, and you've got an access button to start producing a report. Then, when you click on access data, you will start email transaction. So you will provide your email address, and then you will receive an email providing you the following link so that you can start to generate the report. This processing of the data is supported by the WEkEO platform. So all the reports that the different users are going to generate are produced by the WEkEO platform. Then, as soon as the report is produced, you received an email confirming that the report is available, and you will access it in your dashboard. Example of reports. So more or less, the Marine Analyst platform offers you the access to 1,500 datasets. So here you've got some example of available reports. So for instance, the sea surface temperature analysis for 20, a bit more, 20 years of archive. You've got also global ocean wind speed analysis. You can produce a marine protected area bulletins. It's very interesting for marine protected managers because they can search into the Marine Copernicus archive to produce a report about different environmental parameters. They can also have a forecast report for their selected marine protected area. We've got also things a bit more advanced like environmental classification. So this is an exercise with a purpose for the maritime spatial planning activities. I go on. Spatial temporal analysis of shipping activities. So you have to know this is a dataset coming from IMONET with an archive of 6 years, and you can analyze in an area by different activities: shipping, fishing, recreative activities, and so on. And you can also, for instance, produce bathymetry 3D views. The Marine Analyst has something like 500 reports available in its system. So there's really a lot of information that you can produce. The Marine Analyst in a nutshell. So if you're an environmental scientist, MPA, manager, policymaker, or a student with interest in marine conservation, climate change, fisheries, and or aquaculture, you have access to key knowledge without any technical expertise. This is really the important part of a service provided by the Marine Analyst. Is you don't need to have any special technical expertise in order to produce a report and produce knowledge. All the analyses are delivered in reports in real time. Well, it depends if you are processing 20 years of surface temperature, sea surface temperature, it takes maybe 20 minutes. But for the most of the cases, it's really fast. What's coming next? Because maybe I can go back to the last line. We developed the Marine Analyst based on iteration. So we've got some ideas and we improve the platform step by step. So you see here, we love to participate to hackathons, and we have been a couple of times be awarded for this advanced web service. What's coming next? So for instance, and this is interesting, the past, let's say, 2 years, this is here, you see, this is the amount of reports produced by the users of a Marine Analyst. And the next step, the next implementation that we would like to perform is to have a linked data platform so that people, they are able to search within the database of a reports repository based on linked data technology. We have also another implementation. So we are going to put it online for the International Ocean Data Conference event. It's a chlorophyll sandbox where we will provide the code this time. So that's for advanced users. You will have a possibility to see how to access 20 years of chlorophyll A fronts, and you will be able to do so. We will provide our users with solutions to do cluster analysis, produce climatologies and so on, but based on chlorophyll A fronts database. Well, it's big data technology, but you will see it will be online for the 20th of March. So here, for instance, the kind of things you will be able to produce thanks to the chlorophyll A sandbox. But it's really for advanced user, because you need to know how to code in R, for instance, to produce such outputs. And that's it for my presentation. Maybe I guess there's some questions about this presentation. I had only 10 minutes to present this, but hope I was not running too fast.
No, it was great. Thanks a lot for this presentation. It was really nice. And we do have questions indeed. The first one, must the area of interest be rectangular, or we can upload an arbitrary shapefile to use as AOL?
This is a great question. No, it's rectangular. Of course, there will be the possibility to upload a geometry, but we did not have implemented this solution. Nevertheless, for the marine protected bulletins, for instance, we consider the MPA geometry.
Okay. Thank you. So the next one, is it possible to have these marine analysis data in West Africa or Atlantic Ocean?
Yes, it depends on the data sets, but as you know, Marine Copernicus is global, so you can really look for environmental data sets like chlorophyll A, sea surface temperature, but other environmental parameters, and you will find such data sets available for West Africa. Actually, we've got within our user community some African students producing a lot of reports. If you check with our LinkedIn page, you will. I remember a while ago we published a poster by an African PhD student who has been working with Marine Copernicus data and the marine analyst for his research.
Great. Would we also be able to find that information in the website Marine Analyst, do you think? Or yeah.
Yes.
Of that use case, I mean.
I have to check.
Yeah.
Well,
would be nice to share.
What we do is the Marine Analyst is the service, and we take the LinkedIn page as a communication platform. So,
sure. Okay. Yeah, I see. And we do have some more. So I guess you have answered a bit to this one. Is the Marine Analyst restricted to Europe or worldwide?
So it depends on the data sets, but maybe I was a bit quick. When you search for data, if you define your region of interest, then you see what is available for your defined region of interest. If it's only limited to Europe datasets, the search page will tell you that it's not available for, I don't know, West Africa, for instance. But if it's available for West Africa, in the search result page, you will see that it's available, and moreover, that you can produce a report.
Okay. Next one. Is the use of Marine Analyst platform free of charge, or there's a subscription fee?
It's absolutely free of charge.
Great. We like that. Is there any? Oh yeah, one last one, I think. Is the satellite's resolution of chlorophyll A and the solid matter in Sentinel-3 good choice for them?
Well, we've got only 4 kilometer resolution products in general, because as we go for the global scale, we limit this, but you know that you're there also, and you see tomorrow that WEkEO offers you access to virtual labs so that you can access Sentinel-3 products, and of course you can do a more advanced work with by working directly in the virtual labs. I think it depends of your choice in terms of coding, but the Marine Analyst is based on R coding, so we've got R markdowns, and they are available for you if you want to know, to better understand how we process the data. Just contact us. We can offer you access to the R markdowns, and if you want to work with this with more high resolution data sets, then you understand how to do it. But mostly all the products in the Marine Analyst, they are not at high resolution.
Okay. Thank you very much. We have answered.
Okay.
Oh, there is actually one last one, if it's okay with you.
Yeah, no problem.
One that just popped up. Why did you choose R?
Maurizio, what I can tell you is that I code in both Python and R, and I use R for statistical purposes, and I use Python for the server technology. So, but I mean, there's no real reason why we decided to use R. It's just because like this. So the Marine Analyst, actually, you've got both programming languages. We've got Python for all the information system, and R for the analytics.
Great. Thank you very much, Pascal.
It was
really
a pleasure.
interesting.
Thank you very much. I will join tomorrow morning if I've got
Great.
the time.
Yes, that will be good. Happy to have you.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you
And
for the
now-
invitation. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And now I'll give the floor to Alba Vilanova, who is going to present us another use case. Hello, Alba.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Alba Vilanova. Thank you. And I will be presenting my testimony as a user of WEkEO, which is a platform that I use to develop. One moment, this is like moved. I just noticed like the slide is like broken, but to develop a toolbox to compare atmospheric composition datasets. And this was basically part of my master thesis project, so this might be more useful for students. Just to give a brief overview about myself, I currently work as a research engineer at the Barcelona Supercomputing Center. And prior to that, I was studying mechanical engineering in Spain. And during my last semester, and the year after that, I spent some time in South Korea working as a researcher. And once I finished my bachelor, I started to do my master's degree in geospatial technologies, which is an Erasmus Mundus program given by a university in Portugal, another one in Germany, and the San Jaume I in Spain. Okay, so just to give an overview of this project, I first joined in 2021 a program called Summer of Weather Code that you might be interested in if you're interested in software development. This is a program given by ECMWF, and its aim is to connect mentors, people who work in organizations such as ECMWF, Copernicus, UMETSAT, to software developers, people interested in the data science field, so that they together can build software and webs that are open source and that are in this field of earth sciences, in this earth science domain. And so I was in this project developing these tools to compare data until September. And after that, I started to work on my master thesis. And during all this process, I was using WEkEO as a platform for as a virtual machine to do the whole deployment of the software. Okay, so this project had two objectives. The first one was to develop a toolbox, a set of functions in Python that could compare, that could be used to compare data, air quality data, atmospheric composition data from the CAMS model, which is from the Copernicus Atmosphere Monitoring Service, and different satellites. In particular, I got data from the sensors IASI, Tropome, and GOMET2, which are located in Sentinel-5P and METOP A, B, C satellites. And after that, and focusing more on the master thesis, I wanted to show the applicabilities of these functions and these features, and analyze the nitrogen dioxide concentrations over Spain for the last decade, from 2010 to 2019, using data from both GOMET2 and the CAMS model. So the thing is that these data sets are very different. So we have satellite and model data, and these are always saved in different platforms with using different data formats. Their metadata is very incompatible. So it's very difficult to actually combine them, and you need to think things through to go through that process. So my idea was to facilitate this merge, with the aim of validating data, especially the model data, so we could compare it against the satellite and see if the models are accurate or not. Also, as a second objective, we wanted to have mutual coverage, so having data from different sources. It can be useful to do research. And then being able to combine these data sets would enable users also to detect anomalies in the model. So not sure if I'm seeing this broken or everybody sees broken, but everything moved a bit. So basically, I was developing everything with Python, and I used Jupyter to create some notebooks as example, and everything can be found in GitHub. So I have my repository there. You can see it down below. And I use WEkEO as a platform for the development and also to share the code with users afterwards. Some of the things that we could do thanks to these tools were to automatically access all the data from the satellites and the model and read it, also to convert the units, to interoperate files from different data file formats. We could also apply the averaging kernels in the case of Tropome and compute the vertical level pressures given the data from Sentinel-5P. And we could reread this data to the resolution that we wanted to for the merge. So finally, we could merge this data, and we could see and calculate some statistics of these differences between these data sets. As we can see here, I put this table just to understand more what these data sets are about. As you can see, I have 4 sources, and my idea was to be able to calculate Tropome, IASI, and GOMET2 against the model CAMS. We see that we have data in different file formats, such as GRIP for CAMS, and then NetCDF, HDF5, ASCII for the sensors. We have also very different grids. So we have not non-regular grids for certain data sets, but for others, we have irregular grids. And we also have different temporal resolutions and spatial resolutions. And you can see here the platforms I got the data from. I didn't get it from WEkEO at that moment because I started to develop this before I started to use WEkEO. I had to use WEkEO when I started to work with Tropomi because it was very, it has a very high resolution and it's very heavy. And you really need to have like resources to handle it. And here we can see some examples of what we could get by using this toolbox. First of all, we could get this kind of maps in different projections where we can see the differences between the model and the satellite data. We could get these for hourly, daily, and seasonal. We could get like hourly, daily, and seasonal plots. And we could do this for all the sensors and for any region that we wanted. This is an example of something I did for my thesis. We could also get like trend analysis. So we could see what is the variation of a certain certain component species in the atmosphere for a long period of time. In this case, I had data for 10 years. I got the data from the camps analysis and also from the sensor GOME2, and then I got the difference. And then I also focused my study regions in certain areas in Spain, the ones that I thought that they would have the highest concentration of nitrogen dioxide, and where I could see some changes. And so we could also get some plots such as this one, the time series, a monthly annual cycle, trend analysis, where we could actually see the differences more clearly through the time that of study. And so in order to do this, I really needed to have computational resources. I found this while I was working with Tropomi, especially. Tropomi is high resolution, it's very heavy. It's very hard to do also the merge because you need to do some computations at the level, at the pressures, and it was very, it was impossible basically to do it with my personal laptop, which at that moment I had 8 gigabytes of RAM. And so during the project from ECMWF, they gave me access to the WEkEO platform. And I got a virtual machine with 32 gigabytes of RAM. So that basically removed all my memory issues. And also it made me be able to code faster and test faster. So I think it was very helpful for me at that time as a student. And also after that, and during my thesis, I was invited to give a training on the use of this toolbox. And we used WEkEO to create accounts for the users of that training. Each of them got 16 gigabytes of RAM, which was enough to run this. And I was very successful. It was very easy to use thanks to this platform and services provided. So thank you very much for your attention. That was quite quick, I think. But if you have any questions, you can let me know, or you can also write me by email.
Thank you very much, Alba. I think we have at least one question. Here. So excellent slides, I agree. Your presentation was really interesting. Does your approach also allow for integrating field data such as species observation? What about other data sets such as orthophoto?
No, it's only for satellite data. Actually, at my work, we're working on a tool for observations data, so we might release that publicly. But this project was only about comparing the CAMS model and satellite data. And yeah, the data sets that we used were the ones that you could see there. We could have included more, I think. But at the moment, we limited it to that list. Thank you for your question.
Thank you. And I think, I'm not sure this one's for you, but someone asked if you could post the link for the call in the chat. Maybe it's the link to the GitHub. I don't know. Maybe you can share it.
Or maybe it's the SCMWF
Yes.
weather code. Maybe. Well, I will find it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
It's opening in April, I think, in case someone is interested in participating. I think it's very good for students. Let me see. And I will post the repository also.
Okay, Great. Okay, so maybe we can move on to the next presentation, and you'll send us the link in the chat afterwards, if it's okay with you. Anyway, thank you very much, Alba, for your presentation and for being with us today.
Yes, thank you very much, Alba. And now I think we have Alex, who's going to maybe come to say a few words on tomorrow's session, I think. Or you first again, Rachel?
Yes, as you want. So tomorrow will be dedicated to practical sessions. So we will present you plenty of material. You'll have a demonstration of the WEkEO viewer. You will have some Jupyter Notebook presentation, the presentation of the WEkEO computer resources, and the QGIS demonstration as well. So now Alexandre will maybe talk to you a little about the exercises that they will show you tomorrow.
Yes, thank you, Ergane. Hello, everyone. So just to say a few words about the practical session of tomorrow. So I will be presenting to you the Jupyter notebooks and how to interact with the data available in the WEkEO portal with Python. So we're going to do first some basic manipulations like subsetting data, retrieving it, downloading it, opening it. And in the next section, we'll study a case scenario where we'll try to spot wildfires with air quality data. We'll try to quantify the amount of lost vegetation by analyzing satellite images. And finally, we'll try to see if the emissions of carbon dioxide from the fires have had influences on the local ocean parameters. So that's what we're going to study tomorrow, and I hope to see you there. So see you tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Alexandre. And that I think that's it for today's session, right?
Yes. So that's all for today. Thank you very much, all of you that were present. And yes, just to remind you all that on the top bar, you will see the link to the materials. You will have access to the Padlet with the replays of today's session and all the materials as well. And that's it. We'll hope to see you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you very soon. Have a nice day.
See you tomorrow again.
Yes.
And Alexandre, you're still there. Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you.